since my brother brought up this liberal conservative thing, I have to tell this story. Carol and I are privileged to go to Pinecrest, which is a summer home that my brother and I enjoyed when we were 5 years old and up. And my brother and sister-in-law rented this, or had this cabin up there that was given to them. And at this occasion where Carol and I drove up to Pinecrest was my brother, my sister-in-law, my nephew, Todd, and his wife, Morna, and her father. If I say to you that that group probably doesn't vote on the liberal side of the ledger, I'm grossly under-exaggerating. We're sitting at the breakfast table, all sitting around the table. And Morna, Todd's wife, who had worked in Washington, D.C., and had a very responsible position for a lobbying institution, was there. Her father, who was also there, as I mentioned. And Carol looks up and she turns to Morna and she said, "No, I don't mean to be disrespectful at all, but how can you possibly like President Bush?" I wanted to go under the table. And of course, the response was the typical Republican response, that it was all part of the liberal press that she was reading and therefore it wasn't appropriate. But that was Carol, just this wonderful naivete. As I've often said, Carol never met a menu that she couldn't change. Anyone who had the privilege of going out to a meal with Carol cannot help but come away nodding and knowing that that waiter or waitress has just received one of the great interrogations of our time. Is it okay if I put this item with that item? Can I do this and with that? But she did teach us that you can always get what you want. I want to thank all of you. I've been pretty good about not breaking down on any of this stuff. And the mourning process is a difficult one. It's a process that I know time will heal, and I know that over the course of time it will get better. But I have been privileged to have lived with a goddess, and it was such a marvelous experience. She taught me so much, as she taught so many of us. And your being here today helps. It helps me, it helps the family, and I suppose in some ways it helps all of you, because maybe we can now put behind us at least the immediate and look forward to the future, just remembering the legacy that she left us and all the things that she taught us. And now we'll have the Kaddish.